Good morning. Good morning. I love to educate and I want to walk this up to where we are right now. So we're going to go 1768, no taxation without representation. That was printed in the London newspaper. It led to some of the actions that led up to the American Revolution. Now, I've said before that Caucasian white women, you guys fought for the right to vote and didn't get that until 1920. We know black people didn't get that until 1968. No taxation without representation. The idea behind that is simple. Do not make these rules that affect us, that don't include us. Let's bump that up to 1857. 1857 was the Dred Scott case. The Dred Scott case simply did something pretty interesting. I'll read it to you. It explicitly denied citizenship. It was the first time the Supreme Court explicitly denied citizenship to all people of African descent, free or enslaved. We were not represented as in the body that was making the choice to simply say that you, as an African American black person, you will not have citizenship in the United States of America. And they utilized the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. No, you will not find those words in the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. It was, here's what it's called. Dred Scott was an egregious manifestation of systematic racism within the judicial system, but it was built upon a long history of injustice. What I want to make you understand is we then invoked the 13th Amendment, which unequivocally abolished slavery and involuntary servitude throughout the United States. The evolution of understanding with the inclusion of other minds. When I talk about legislative authority and say that I am running a campaign to give you legislative authority, the few have made decisions that have affected the many over and over and over throughout our history. Throughout American history, the few have affected the many. But when the many had an opportunity to weigh in, they did the right thing. Hey, we have all of these women. We're not including blacks yet. We have all of these white women who have something they want to say. It took till 1920 to get that done. We cannot let this stuff roll back, but you have to start. We have to continue to push this portion of education to build up to where we are today. Yes, 100%, there are problems, but I want to put the control in the hands of the citizens. It's so important that you get that. It's so important. Listen to this, 1868, the 14th Amendment grants citizenships to all persons born or naturalized in the U.S., including formerly enslaved people, and guarantees equal protection under the law. Let me explain something to you. That Dred Scott case of 1857, that Supreme Court case of 1857 has never been re-argued to change that perspective. And this is just in case law. So right now, you can go back and reach to this archaic law that the people, the majority of people, because we know everybody doesn't agree with everyone, but the majority did say, no, this is not okay. The majority did think that way, regardless of if you're racist or not. The majority did think that way. You have to remember too, that when America decided to emancipate its black population, they made an offer to send its black population somewhere else. And the black people said, no, we would like to stay right here and continue to fight for what this is, whether you agree or disagree. They decided to say, no, you're already making laws to give us more equality, and more people are believing in this than we thought. That, hey, we really don't see an issue here. But if we get enough people to have a way to do this, we can make this work. Today, go look this up. Today, not a single woman is serving a committee chair in the GOP, not one. And you fought that hard. You fought that hard. And I'm talking over 200 years before you even had a voice to vote. And that belonged to only white women in the United States of America. You fought that hard to roll yourselves back. And the only thing I'm simply saying is in 2024, going forward, 21st century, we can see better. So we do better. We can see better, so we do better. It's time to really get behind legislative authority for citizens. We must continue to evolve this system, period, point blank, because we are headed in the wrong direction. I don't really know what make America great means because everybody's got their own definition. It's right up there with, what do you think about love? How you view it and I view it and how someone else view it and someone else, it's always gonna be different based on who you are. The idea of legislative authority simply means for me that I am hoping that the majority of us believe in a better tomorrow by including us in the decisions that affect us. I never want you to not be able to speak for yourself. And we seem to not be able to fully get out of that. So I want to give legislative authority to citizens in the state of Florida for the simple fact that we need to make it work. We need to see this system work so that we can correct or reform some of the problems that we're currently having in what seems like and has the characteristics of an oligarchy system. Look up the word oligarchy. If you don't know how to spell it, hit the little button on your phone and say, what is an oligarchy? And it will tell you exactly what it is. We need to be able to utilize technology. But what we need to make sure we're paying attention to is that we are taking our crookeds with our straights. We're taking our goods with our bads. And one of the bads that we're taking is we're watching history repeat itself. And we're playing a role in the part of history repeating itself that people fought to fix. Do you understand that? We're playing a role in the people fighting for a part of history that they fought hard for. They don't even talk about in the history books the atrocities that happened to white women. They don't even, it's nowhere. You can't even find it. It's just not there. But we know it happened because we know men have been pretty barbaric. And this ain't even no shot at men. But we know through history, we haven't been the best. So we need to include our women in these decisions. And quite frankly, if I ain't mistaken, women make up the majority. So we need to include them. They need to be inclusive. And right now, we again voted. And this F around and find out thing, have y'all noticed on not a single video I do, I don't use profane language because my kids may see it. And I don't curse around my children, period. I just don't do it. So it's not a thing for me. But listen, we're all finding out together. There is not a single group that's not going. If it's painful, a lot of us are feeling the pain as a collective. It isn't a flex to say, well, y'all about to see what you did. That's not a flex statement. So don't make it seem like it is. We need to continue to educate one another. And like I said, it's okay to be upset at individuals who vote against their best interests. Because this time, we may have done it, but we're taking our crookeds with our straights. We're taking our goods with our bads. But I wanted you to get an understanding that we're not attacking the root cause problems. How come we haven't pushed this back up to the Supreme Court, this 1857 ruling, to make sure that you can't even reference that as case law? If you made it this far in the video, consider that we haven't even said, hey, this doesn't even need to be here anymore. Remove it all together. Because that happens. There are some things where we're going to have to go back to the roots to fix. And it does take time. And I will be a root cause governor. Because I'm going to go to the root of the problem. I'm going to figure out the root and we're going to fix it at the root. You guys have a great day.